Welcome to another edition of Entertainment Extra with yours truly, Joe Crawford on RemixTV.com. Believe it or not, we're on show 8. Oh my gosh, get a date for Valentine's Day with show 8. And on this show, we have a great show. We're going to be talking with Dr. Mark Davis about some United States political aspects of his opinions and his book, Demons of Democracy. And also, we're going to be talking about the Millennium Diet. He's written a book called The Millennium Diet, the practical guide for rapid weight loss. So hopefully you're sticking to that New Year's resolution, as we're only the 7th week in the new year of 2012. Now, I posted on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook through my website, joecrawfordlive.com, and like the Joe Crawford Show here with Remix TV. And I wanted to hear your responses. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Joe Crawford Live. And also, there is my email, all right there, joe at remixtv.com, on my website at joecrawfordlive.com. Now, I posted a video on my Facebook that was on the Joe Crawford Talk Show that went viral within days. And let me just tell you, if you haven't seen the video yet, it's been all over the internet. There's a gentleman who sits down on a chair, and he has a piece of paper, and he reads a post from his 15-year-old daughter, Hannah. Okay, now Hannah has been grounded before for 3 months for disrespecting her parents on Facebook, writing nasty statuses about her parents and how she should not be treated as a slave. Darling, it's only chores. We've all done it, okay? Now, her father is an IT person, so she thought she blocked her father from Facebook and her mother and her stepmother from Facebook. And what happened was, the father, the day before he shot this, and literally shot this, I'll tell you in a minute, shot the video, he spent $130 on upgrading her daughter's laptop so she can have it for school. Well, she was pissed off at her parents, and therefore she wrote a nasty, nasty note on Facebook. And her dad, in response to it, took a .45 rifle and shot 9 bullet holes into her daughter's laptop and said that she had to owe him for another laptop, and she'd be grounded for the rest of her life pretty much, and also had to pay for the bullets. And I wanted to hear back from you, and I'm glad you guys wrote in, and you guys can tune in anytime and write in. We actually have Gilbert Godfrey with us next week on the show, so I want your comments to come in and questions at joe at remixtv.com. But here are some of your comments on Facebook. For instance, Brian writes, my comments to that video is this: good for him. He did all parents proud. Looking back, I remember disapproving of stuff as a teen, but I know I sure as hell wouldn't have posted something like that. And the fact it's not the first time she did it, I say it looks good on her. Thank you, Brian, for writing that in. Chris wrote, perfect. I love this video. Tanya writes, I think it's about time someone did that, except he himself is acting like a child. That's the only bad thing I see about this. But still, it needed to be done. Thank you very much, Tanya. Another Brian tunes in here and says, Tanya somewhat surmised my thoughts on it. Yes, the teen should probably be punished, but I'm sure this guy said horrible things about his folks behind their backs when he was 16. Moreover, and I'm not taking the side of the daughter, shooting the laptop is an absurd punishment. How about hiding it on her? Denying her access to it? Shooting an expensive machine is beyond ridiculous, especially as the middle class decreases. Good thoughts, Brian. If your achievement about her not having it whatsoever, give it to a school or a church. All right, Brian, thank you very much. John writes in, I think that if he bought it, he can do whatever he wishes with it, whether or not how he talked about his parents. Remember, he didn't post it in the local newspaper. Christopher writes back and said, it was posted on Facebook, but yeah, John is right. You don't post crap, to clean that up word, on the net or anywhere where everyone can see it. She had it coming. You can hear the frustration in his voice. I'd do it. Actually, I'd back it over with my truck due to the fact I'm in Canada and can't discharge a firearm. Oh, Christopher, very good. John chimes back in and says, or a crowbar or a baseball bat or my steel toes, or smother it in gravy and give it to a Roddy. Oh, John. Christopher chimed back in and said, a wood chipper. One loud noise and the piece is discharged. John writes back, oh wait, the poor girl had to actually do chores. Maybe we are too harsh. Yeah, right. Laugh out loud. Perhaps taking her into 1970 by removing the internet, cell phones, cable TV, and game systems would give her a better perspective on how easily she actually does have it. At least that's where I would start. Yeah, make her play Pong like they did on the video games back then too, eh, John? Ed Crystal chimes in saying, kids these days have it far too easy. Daddy buy me this, mommy buy me that. Throw a tantrum when they actually tell you no. I was babysitting at 10 years old to make extra cash to buy the things I wanted. She's 15. Get a job. I agree with the father, but how'd she get to be this ungrateful? Put the foot down, Daddy. This should have started a long time ago. I want to thank you for all your comments on that, because you know what? You can still chime in on the Facebook page and the Joe Crawford Talk Show page, like it, and I want to steal your comments. Also, email me, joe@remictv.com, for your questions for Gilbert Godfrey. Also want to send my condolences on behalf of Remix TV to Whitney Houston's family and friends. A great singer and actress has been lost. She passed away on the weekend, and 48 years old. So our thoughts and prayers are with her. And I definitely can't hit the high notes. The director and the owner here of Remix TV, Frank Cormer's like, you gotta sing a song. And I will always love you. That's all you're going to get, Frank. Sorry, because I can't hit those high notes. All right, unless I really pull up the jeans. Now, today's fact of the day is an experiment I want to do. I was told, not that they are a sponsor or anything, but if you're watching and you want to be a sponsor of Remix TV, please chime in and write to us at joe@remictv.com, because we'd love to have you on board. But I have Coca-Cola here and Diet Coke. And I was told that the Diet Coke would float in water and the Coke would sink in the water. So I have brought here a tub with me of water, and let's just see. We're going to put them both in right now, and let's see which one floats and which one sinks. Well, you know what? I kind of think it's a tie. I push that down. What if I push the Diet Coke down? Well, they're both half up and half down. So, you know what? Either way, Coke's going to kill you. And I meant to snort stuff anyways, all right? Stick around, because we have a nutritionist doctor who probably tells us to stay away from Coke and Diet Coke, with Dr. Mark Davis on remictv.com. Welcome back to Entertainment Action with yours truly, Joe Crawford, here on Remix TV. And joining me in the studio right now is Dr. Mark Davis. Dr. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. We had you on my radio show when I did radio back a couple years ago.
Yes, sir. I remember that very much.
So I
appreciate it.
I wanted you to come back on our show because you're a very interesting man. You've written a couple books. Not only are you a doctor with the healthcare system, but you're also a very political person as well there in the States, with writing a book, actually your latest book, which is called Demons of Democracy. And tell me a little bit about Demons of Democracy.
Demons of Democracy describes how the legal profession, and enabled by the legislators here, to undermine every tradition and institution in the country. Specifically, they've amended many of the legal works here in the country that constrain our ability to function as businesses, as people in general. And this is what we're seeing more and more. You may have heard of the recent birth control debacle here in the United States, where the central government is mandating that Christian institutions give out birth control pills. That's just one thing now that the legal profession has done. They're inflicting their thinking on the rest of us, and they don't have the right under the Constitution. So Demons of Democracy shows that the legislators and the lawyers have overridden the Constitution. They have something called constitutional dementia, which is they just completely oblivious to what that document means. And that document is the basis for this entire nation, but they're putting it aside for their own clever needs and wants and desires. Look at Obamacare specifically, written end to end by lawyers. And this allows people to come into your lives. The IRS now, which is the Internal Revenue Service here in the States, is an integral part of healthcare. When did that start? We're told that we have to buy insurance or we'll be penalized, even go to court, even go to jail. There's even preference for go to jail. Nancy Pelosi said it. Some people will go to jail if they don't buy health insurance. How far they're going to take it, I don't know. But right now, it's about control. It's about constraint, it's about mandate, and Demons of Democracy describes how the lawyers have ingratiated themselves into every institution in this country. From the Security Exchange Commission to the Defense Department to the military, there's a hand of a lawyer everywhere. And it needs to stop. There are too many lawyers, and there's too many mandates and legal restraints from these people. We don't have the United States of America anymore. It's looking more like socialism. I talked recently to a producer of one of the major TV shows here in the States. He was asking me why I thought the country's going socialistic. I just said, look around you. They took over GM. They took over Chrysler. They took over all the, just about all the, Ford is the only one that didn't allow them to take themselves over. They put billions of dollars into these systems, and what do you have to show for it? Failure, failure upon failure, including not limited to Solyndra recently out in California, where they were making solar panels. That company failed. 3 other solar panel companies have gone under. 2 of these electric car companies are not working well. The Volt, that can't even get across the tunnel in New York, it ran out of power in the middle of the tunnel.
Oh, jeez.
This is a conception of Obama's administration. I don't hate Mr. Obama. It's his ideas, his regulatory structure. He has no idea what he's talking about. I'm a scientist by nature. I'm a physician. At least I have a little inkling what I'm talking about. He doesn't. When he gets on the microphone, he just ranks it from the hip.
Now, is Obama then worse or better than when Bush was in before Obama?
Bush didn't go over his head in terms of science, NASA, the military. He didn't control the military. You see what they've done to our military. They turned it into a social organization. They're inflicted their social views on the military, specifically allowing homosexuals into the military. I'm not anti-homosexual in that sense, but putting them in the same barracks with these guys, they're very uncomfortable. The military was never for it. It was forced down their throats, and I hear it because we're in Aberdeen, Maryland. Aberdeen, Maryland is there's a large contingent of military here, and they come in here all the time. We talk. They're not for this. It's a big lie. That's just one point. They tell the chaplains how to react now in terms of how to pray, how to give counsel to people. The Bush administration never integrated itself into the military to this level. There were never lawyers on the ground directing the guns away from the enemy in such a fashion as with the Obama administration. It's pretty interesting how they deconstructed the military. They're reducing our strength in the military. They're not building as many ships. And this goes on. Now they're pushing more women to go on the front lines. And I heard about this one. This is in the last week. They took an Air Force insignia that took the word God out of it.
Oh my God!
There's so much information to impart. They took the word God out of it. I think they're atheists, half of them up there. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what direction they're going in because every day there's something new. They keep stirring the pot.
Well, this is ridiculous, and it's going a little bit too far. Then now, with Obama, with what he's implementing, will he change? Like, hopefully, Obama won't get then reelected, maybe. But if he does, is there possible change of getting any better before it gets a lot worse?
Well, first of all, we're headed towards oblivion, economic oblivion specifically. The way the Republicans are running this campaign right now, it looks like Obama will be put back in. As the news shows here in the States, any one of the 4 candidates that are now running in the Republican sector will not win against Obama. Obama's manipulating the unemployment numbers. They're much lower. The housing starts are a lot better. Everything is looking better now because he controls all the number flow from the federal government. And do I think Obama's going to be in? At the present time, yes. Romney's a very timid, weak candidate, and there are other words we can't not use on this TV station right now to describe him. But if you go to one of my YouTube videos, you'll see it under Mark Davis because I can't even give you the title on.
Okay, no problem.
but he doesn't have the fortitude, and he's manipulating it. So he's pouring tens of millions of dollars of his own money in to get reelected or elected. He was governor, as you may know, of Massachusetts for
Yes.
4 years, 2000 to 2006. He messed up there totally. Romney Care is a horrible bill. I'm writing Obamacare, Dead on Arrival, as a tentative name for a book, and I reviewed Romney Care. It's not how he's portraying it. It's full of mandates. It's full of assertions. It was a gift to the legal profession, as Obamacare is on the federal level. And Obamacare is really not about medical care. It's about transferring wealth, jobs, diluting the ability of doctors to work, reducing the standards in medical schools to put more people out on the streets as doctors who should not be out there. When you go to the emergency room, you want the best and brightest doctor down there at 3 o'clock in the morning taking care of you, no matter where you are in the world. You could be in Vietnam, Ontario, whatever. You want a good doctor who's smart, who knows what they're doing, who's been going through the system. We're not seeing that anymore. With 4 medical schools here in the States already have been suspended for reducing standards. You can easily Google these schools. My own medical school in Syracuse, New York, was put on suspension for a while.
Wow.
Just for these kind of things. We saw them starting diluting the standard in the 1970s. Obama took control of the student loan program approximately 2 years ago here in the States, and he can mandate whatever standards he wants, and if you don't play ball, you don't get money. He's already threatened the banks in the same idea. You heard what's happening with the banking industry here. There's a $25 billion compulsive that the banks have to join because of the foreclosures. They're saying there were false loans given to these people. That's not true. It's extortion. They haven't come up with any of the data here in the media to prove what they're saying. And then they want to put a 10% tax on top of the banks in addition to that. No one's going to have any loans. No one's going to be able to expand their businesses. No one's going to be able to borrow for houses because the Obama administration is screwing up. They keep screwing up. Every time you turn around, there's something else they're doing wrong.
Well,
they all need to be fired. Every one of these guys needs to be fired. The environmental, we could talk about environment for an hour.
Right.
Done here.
Well, all of them being... So I'm going to cut you off for a second, Mark. You're saying all of them should be fired. Then who do you think would be doing a good job then to get in there?
Who do I think we get it? We need somebody with sanity, somebody with logic, somebody with reason, somebody who is well-versed. I would have liked to see John Bolton run. He was a former ambassador to the UN here. He's a very brilliant guy. No, I don't like lawyers, as you can see from Demons of Democracy. He's maybe one of the exceptions that I could see getting in there. Most people do not like Donald Trump, but his ideas were good. They were good and solid. He won't get in because no one's going to vote for him. He knows that. That's why he's not running and he's staying on the sidelines. We know that Romney's not the guy, but he's buying the election. It's very bad. He killed Gingrich. Gingrich, though, with all his moral crises that we see here, with his 3 wives and all that stuff, he's a lot better candidate.
What about Clinton?
Sorry?
What about Clinton? Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton's a brilliant woman, but the puppeteers are controlling what she says. The outflow from her mouth, specifically, is being controlled by the Obama administration. So she runs a straight line in terms of the Obama agenda, pretty much. I never heard her say these idiotic things she's been saying recently. She has a very good mind. She's a very solid person. I think she would have been a lot better president than this, because she never would have done this.
Right.
With the birth control and the military. She's essential. She's a good mother to her kid, and she had to put up with that bum of a husband of hers. No question.
We won't go into that one either.
Oh my God, that's 2 hours right there. Monica Lewinsky.
There you go. Well, Demons of Democracy is your book, and it can be bought on Amazon.com, correct?
Correct. You can buy it anywhere in the world. Any bookstore you could order it if they don't have it in the stock.
Okay, awesome. Buy that book because it's very interesting. And speaking with Mark Davis here on the political side, but now I want to go a little bit to the medical side of things, because we can talk just for a full 2-hour show about the democracy in the United States. But I want to go to the nutritional side now. You're a weight loss and nutritionist doctor, and it's 7 weeks into the new year now, and probably people are looking to hopefully to lose weight, and there's all these types of different diets out there, the Atkins, Weight Watchers, and that, but you have the Millennium Diet, and your book is called The Millennium Diet, The Practical Guide for Rapid Weight Loss. Now, what does your diet have that the other ones beats it all out?
Thank you for introducing the book, first of all. My diet developed with the patients. The patients are the best teachers by far. They taught me a lot. High protein, moderate carb, low fat, restricted calorie diet is a 2012 diet. It edges out any of the other diets. Protein, when it interacts with the cells, is more physiologically compatible with the body. So the cell could easily maneuver through protein digestion, and the cells get to do other things that they're supposed to do, specifically make antibodies, guard against cancers. When you overwhelm the cells with sugar, they're full-time, they're overtime, trying to burn that sugar and store that sugar. And for people like myself, as an example, not to be self-deprecating, we accumulate weight. Carb is not the thing, because the protein will taken into the body will be made into carbs that is necessary anyway in the body. It's not a no-carb diet, it's a low-carb diet. It keeps away from white flour, white rice, minimized potatoes, it minimizes pasta. It's all in there, but the mix is very important. The portion controls are very important. For people to take a 5'7" man, 35 years of age, weighing about 30, 40 pounds overweight, we expect to see a minimum of 4 pounds off a week for the first 5 weeks with the Millennium Diet. We're not going to see that with Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers specifically has a point system which allows you to eat anything within the point system. You could have cheese, you could have chocolate cake, and being a guy overweight, chocolate cake is very attractive to me. A couple of pounds of bacon thrown in, before you know it, I just got finished with breakfast. But in reality, if you want to live longer, high protein restricted calorie diet in the laboratory, specifically lab mice, lab rats, which I've worked in the labs with, they live longer, 50%, maybe 100% longer than their litter mates. Why? We think it's because of the protein mix that they're getting. And they're just as active, and they're just as virile, and they're just as productive having more babies in those older ages. And they're looking good. And listen, guys that go to a high protein, moderate carb, low restricted calorie diet I'm going to say it, I know we're on TV, have better sex, they have more strength, they're more vitality, they feel better, their muscular structure increases, their cholesterol drops. Protein is compatible with the human body. Too many carbs, which all of us have been eating here in the States, is bad. JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association, approximately a month and a half ago, came out with an article about 150 million people are obese and or overweight. Kids below 20, 17% are obese and overweight. We don't even know those numbers. Diabetic-wise, 26 million people in this country, as they tell us, have diabetes. Tens of millions or more have pre-diabetes, and there's so many we don't know. The hospitals and the morgues are full of people with obesity-driven diseases, hypertension, heart disease, cancers even, in certain cases.
Now,
so the mix is there. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just you're saying high protein, and for people who don't know, what are some foods that have protein?
Good for you. Thank you for the question. It's a good question. Protein would be chicken, poultry, chicken, turkey. Turkey has less calories per ounce than chicken. Lean ham, if you want to do lean ham without salt. Lean, if you do red meats, it has to be extremely lean, like 99% fat-free. Fish, we're looking at fish pretty much. Those are the animal protein. Then you can go to vegetables, which have a lot of fiber in them as well.
Any specific vegetables?
Oh, sure, we can go to that. Tomatoes. One 5.5-ounce tomato has 35 calories. Half a head of lettuce, about 50 calories. Carrots are pretty high on the carb list, but a half a carrot to a carrot a day won't hurt at all. Green beans, broccoli. Broccoli is excellent for you. Onions these things have almost no calories. And the Millennium Diet book has a long list of vegetables that are excellent. If you're just a vegetarian and you want to follow the Millennium Diet, it's in there for you. If you want to just eat eggs, we'd recommend egg beaters over regular eggs. That's the egg from a chicken has almost perfect protein mix.
Wow.
As an example, but it has cholesterol. That's the problem.
Okay, now do you have a copy of your book with you that we can see it?
Yes.
Let's see. There you go. There's the Millennium Diet, the practical guide for rapid weight loss, and in that book you have listed like those vegetables that we were just talking about, right?
Exactly. We have everything listed so people know exactly what to eat, what not to eat, how much portion control they need to do. If they just read the chapter on diet, they'd be fully aware. If they read the entire book, they would know more than most of the people at Weight Watchers and other places. And the book's been through so many printings. It's the most pirated diet book online, probably.
Beautiful.
Tens of thousands of people have downloaded it. Where's my money?
There you go.
My money. You owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't have any money here.
That's what usually what happens.
Yeah, well, pretty much they stole. I mean, I'm reading online an internet site in India has it, in Japan. I don't know if they translated it or not.
Wow, beautiful. Now, do you have your own website?
Yeah, well, with Amazon, who's printing the book, among other places, has a website set up for Millennium Diet. So it's sold on so many. Having an individual site doesn't mean anything anymore because it's sold on thousands of sites specifically. There are numerous peer-reviewed articles, reviews on the Millennium Diet. It competes among the best of the best. Recently, a diet came over from Europe, specifically France, called the Duquesne diet. Pretty much, it took 30 years for it to get popular. It's being pushed by a princess in England as well.
Oh, wow.
Basically, it has 4 stages on this diet. On the 4th stage, it says you can eat anything you want as long as you take a little bit of protein and you walk. It's impossible to eat anything you want and lose or maintain your weight. That's physiologically impossible. In this country, we have several charlatan kind of doctors on the TV pushing diets. Every week there's another diet for these guys. Lose 9 pounds in 10 days, lose 15 pounds in 3 weeks. It's silly. It's all silly. It's based on no science at all. The top diets here were listed in a news journal. Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, because they buy ad space.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason.
Okay.
Not that they're the better diets for people. A diet should be economical, safe. It should change your inside and outside. It should make you lose weight rapidly and safely, as well as your blood sugars, cholesterol, and so forth should improve. So the Millennium Diet does all that. It's really cheap. It's easy to test on yourself. So you know I'm not full of baloney here. And it's very important. It's very important to have confidence in the diet that you take. Okay, so we've had people, just for a few examples, we had a police officer who was in congestive heart failure, passed through his doctor to us, his cardiologist. He went from 317 to 267 in 7 weeks. He was going to die.
Beautiful.
He was going to, yeah. He had to come in here probably 2-3 times a week to be weighed. We didn't charge him for the weights. We wanted to watch him.
Right.
We needed to see him. We wanted to feel what he's doing. We had a lady who was 95 pounds here in about 7 months. That was kind of slow, but unless her doctor told her she would never get pregnant, by the time she had lost 70 pounds, she was pregnant because obese tissue in women put out estrogen. It was blocking the inception of the embryo in her uterus, and the doctor never realized that. It's basic medical school stuff. Nothing sophisticated here.
Beautiful.
But all the research shows protein diets are good.
Well, you're helping out a lot of people with the book, Dr. Mark Davis, and I greatly appreciate it. We're going to have to cut short, though, because we can go on about the diet as well, but I definitely want to have you back on when the new president of the States is elected, because you're a great guest to have on, and we can go all about politics next time, and we can even touch more about the Millennium Diet.
I'll be happy to come on anytime you request me. I've enjoyed talking to you, and please call me when you can. All right,
okay. Dr. Mark, I will. Thank you very much, and if you're out there, buy the Millennium Diet. And you have your other book, the Demons of Democracy?
Yeah, Demons of Democracy. If you wait 1 second, sir, I will look for my...
Yeah, we're going to get the Demons of Democracy and the guy for Rapid Weight.
Right there.
There it is. Put her in the picture. There we go. Demons of Democracy right there. It's a beautiful picture of a demon, the devil with the horns. One of the politicians, anyways. We won't name any of them to be on that cover.
Yeah, the politicians were asking me if that's Obama. No, I didn't consider it as Obama when we first had the graphic artist do it, but apparently it's caught on about that. So that cover's going to be a collector's item one of these days.
There you go. Dr. Mark Davis for Entertainment Extra. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You have a good day. And that's Dr. Mark Davis with Joe Crawford here on Entertainment Extra. Just before we sign off, we have your word of the day. And the word of the day is osculation. Osculation. I had to get, auscultation. Auscultation, different. It's a noun, and I thought because we talked with Dr. Davis, this would be a good word. The act of listening to sounds within the body as a method of diagnosis. So auscultation. So maybe my bloated feeling after all is just gas inside me. Anyway, for Entertainment Extra, I'm Joe Crawford on RemixTV.com.